Welcome, folks. I'm Jaby Koay, joined by STEPH, who is a very, very professional fight scene lady. Does like stunts, choreography. She knows the terminology inside and out.
Hi.
She's like, please, I'm not good with the terminology. I just love fight scenes.
Yeah, I just like people doing cool things.
Yeah. So just for, I guess, full disclosure, I have dabbled with stunts. I've done stunt work myself. I've choreographed several fight scenes. I've been watching fight scenes like intensely since I was a little kid. And I have a lot of friends who are in the stunt community. I grew up with them, having trained at Los Angeles Valley College, Gymnastics Olympica, and now joining All Movement. Like a lot of the stunt community trains there regularly, and so I'll often see my friends in these big Marvel films.
Very cool.
Even Indian films sometimes. But the one we're about to watch is from Insider. It's called How Tom Cruise Pulled Off 8 Amazing Stunts. Movies Insider. So y'all, thanks so much for joining us with this. Please subscribe and hit that bell icon, all notifications, and vote this video up to let YouTube know you're enjoying what you're watching. By the by, STEPH has a couple of YouTube channels herself, 32 to be exact, and she's also on
growing
Instagram. Every video we do, she gets another YouTube channel.
It's amazing.
So let's check this out.
In this scene from Mission Impossible Fallout, Ethan Hunt jumps 25,000 feet out of a plane before landing in Paris. A risky move like this would normally require a stunt double, but that's actually Tom Cruise.
Wow.
Do you notice how you can see his face?
Yeah.
And the reason why is because they put lights inside of his helmet, which actually makes it harder to do the halo jump.
Because you're just distracted.
Because you got the lights in your face.
Wow.
Yeah, so this was even harder than a regular halo jump. On top of that, you have to act and get the cameras in your face and all that. This was complicated.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And that background behind him is not a green screen. The actor is famous for almost always doing his own stunts, no matter how dangerous.
Wow.
From climbing the world's tallest building to hanging off the side of a plane to pulling off perhaps one of the most dangerous helicopter chases ever captured on film. Cruise is always finding new ways to top himself, and he's not stopping anytime soon. At more than 2,700 feet, the Burj Khalifa in Dubai is the world's tallest building.
Tom Cruise is almost old enough to collect
only a matter of time
Social
before
Security.
Cruise decided to climb
And
it.
he's still doing
For
this.
this stunt,
Exactly.
the actor had to climb 1,700 feet in the air.
Jeez.
So he had to wear a special harness attached to strategic points in the building. To do this, the crew needed to break 26 different windows. With permission, of course. This harness was so tight, Cruise said it cut off his circulation.
Oh.
The 65mm IMAX cameras and additional helicopters shooting the scene only had a limited amount of time to record, so they had to move fast. But Cruise wasn't just climbing the building. He also had to fall 4 stories and run down the surface of the building in a move known as an Australian rappel.
What?
All of this required a lot of preparation. Cruise practiced by climbing up a makeshift glass wall heated with artificial lights to replicate the hot temperature of the windows on the Burj Khalifa. Stunt coordinator Greg Smers estimated that Cruise and the crew put in at least 200 hours of rehearsal time.
Wow.
This isn't Cruise's first experience climbing, however. In 2000's Mission Impossible 2, he climbed a 2,000-foot cliff in Utah, attached to nothing but a thin safety
Have you never
rope,
seen this movie?
and had to jump 15 feet from one cliff
you're missing
to
out. You
another.
gotta watch all the Mission Impossibles.
Wait, what? He's crazy.
The stunts in Edge of Tomorrow were tough, but it was actually the costume that made it even more so. Throughout the
Yeah.
film, Cruise's character wears metal exoskeleton
It's a Transformer
armor,
costume.
something that typically might be added on through CGI. But Cruise wore a real suit, sometimes for up to 6 hours a day straight. One version weighed 85 pounds.
Wow.
And another version weighed around 130
Whoa.
pounds, thanks to a sniper rifle and missile launcher on the back.
Why?
Here's
Why?
what Cruise normally looks like running in a scene. Compare that to this shot of him and his co-star Emily Blunt running while
I always
both
got the
wore
wire
the
on
suits.
him though to help him out.
In another
Still.
stunt for the film,
Dang.
the actor was attached to a wire and thrown across the room while wearing it. To take some of the weight off and help them run more easily, Cruise and Blunt were often attached to cables. It took Cruise 30 minutes to get into the suit and 30 to get out. The team eventually got that down to around 30 seconds.
Yeah, I would imagine. I gotta pee. This shit has to come off now.
You have 30 minutes on the clock. Can you hold it?
Yeah, exactly. 30 seconds. I'm pretty sure I could hear Tom Cruise screaming, "Hollywood's counting on us!"
How many?
30 seconds.
Yeah, Hollywood. It's exactly what he was doing.
While Cruise had plenty of experience flying planes in Top Gun, In Rogue Nation, he decided to go into the air in a rather unconventional and more terrifying way.
This man.
For the film's opening scene, he had to cling onto the side of an Airbus A400M that took him up 1,000 feet at a speed of 100 knots for 6 to 8 minutes. The plane took off, did a complete circuit, and landed, all with Tom Cruise secured to the side with this wire that would later be erased in post-production.
What?
The other frightening part of this is that the camera, like, facing him, if it detached, it would have smacked him right in the face.
In the face, and he can't, wow.
Yeah, and it's like, you can't go anywhere. Like, what are you gonna do?
There's so much room for error.
Yeah.
I would just be like, I think I'm gonna go with the stunt double.
No, he wants people to see it too.
It's amazing.
Because the plane went so high into the air, Cruise had to wear special contacts to protect
that's
his
right, to
eyes
keep his
from
eyes
flying
That
debris
makes
and
sense.
strong gusts of wind. Plus, the crew had to make sure takeoff conditions were absolutely clear. If they ran into even a single bird or some rocks on the runway, it could severely injure the actor. The stunt had to be performed over and over again until the actor, director, and crew felt they got it right. For Cruise, he didn't feel confident in the take until he had gone up 8 times.
Wow. 8 times.
The fifth
You know what's crazy about that is that he could have done this on green screen and we would have been none the wiser. But because it's Tom Cruise, we know it's real, and that makes it so much more exhilarating to watch.
Yeah, that probably really adds to how many people are invested in this franchise beyond belief.
Right.
It's
the Jackie Chan effect.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee, those two, it's just like I'll watch anything they do because I know they're doing it.
Well, for the most part, yeah.
Not, yes.
Yeah.
But I need to get on the Mission Impossible movies.
mission entry contained not 1, but 2 death-defying stunts. This one involving military-style preparation. In the film, Ethan Hunt needs to open an underwater vault. The vault itself was created using CGI, but Cruise still needed to work underwater for the sequence, which clocks in at just about 6 minutes long. He started by jumping off a 120-foot ledge into a tank filled 20 feet high with water.
Oh my God.
Then Cruise needed to film takes while holding his breath for 4 to 6 minutes. According to Cruise, most underwater sequences might have an actor hold their breath for up to 10 seconds, so this was definitely a challenge.
Wait,
He trained with freediving expert Kirk Crack on a
that's an exceptional name. That is, you have to be in the stunt business.
Kirk Crack.
How'd you do it, Kirk Crack?
It's the...
How'd you...
That sounds like a sound that happens when you fall down.
Kirk Crack.
That's probably how he got his nickname. No, but it's like dopest guy in the stunt industry. What's his name? Kirk Crack.
Kirk Crack.
Can you imagine? But yeah, so I heard Tom Cruise can hold his breath up to like 6-7 minutes because of this film. Like he learned how to do that. So
So it's something that you can learn and build up the skill to.
yeah, it's just a tolerance.
Oh my tolerance is 10 seconds, like the rest of the actors.
My tolerance is like a minute unless I'm being timed, and then suddenly it's like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, too much pressure.
Why? It's like when there's a blinking competition.
Yeah.
The moment someone says, "Okay, don't blink," I'm blinking.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Exactly.
expert Kirk Crack on a breath hold special operations program designed for military personnel. Part of his training involved breathing exercises that would lower his standard heart rate, essentially training his body to use less oxygen. And he wouldn't just be sitting in the water during the shoot, he would be swimming around. Why so long? Well, they had just 10 days to film the sequence. So director Christopher McQuarrie shot in a series of continuous takes, meaning the actor couldn't easily pop up for air. Well, Cruise hasn't gone to space, yet. He has performed a zero-gravity stunt. In The Mummy, he had to hold his breath underwater yet again, dodge explosions, and even fight Russell Crowe. The biggest standout stunt was this sequence in which a cargo plane plummets to the ground. Cruise was offered the chance to shoot it on a soundstage, but he declined and opted for the real thing. To imitate the experience of the crash where the characters float up into the air, they shot on a plane that NASA typically uses to train astronauts. They decked out the inside of the plane with padding to make it look like a real cargo plane. The plane couldn't go into zero-gravity mode until it was at about 25,000 feet.
Wow.
Have you ever done this?
No.
Have you ever parachuted? Anything like that?
No.
Do you have a high fear of heights?
No, I will probably end up doing it in my life, just haven't.
Okay.
Have you?
So, no, I haven't done any of that. The zero gravity thing I've always wanted to do. It's basically, they call it a vomit comet because it goes up and then starts racing towards the Earth for like 45 seconds. It goes up and down. And while it's going down in descent, you have 0 G. And so you feel weightless for a moment. The closest thing I've done to that is the indoor skydiving.
Oh, yeah.
To a Universal City Walk, which is lame.
Oh.
But
good to know.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. It's just like you pay all that money for that. So I really want to do this though, because like you need context, right? Because in the indoor skydiving, you just have a fan blowing you up, and you're sort of like you just feel like you're laying there. Whereas with this, like you have context for you floating and whatnot. So it's pretty cool.
Once at that position, it would free fall for 22 seconds.
Oh, 22 seconds. I thought it was 45.
Cruise endured 4 high-altitude flights. The sequence was eventually wrapped after a whopping 64 takes.
Whoa.
And while Cruise's stunts usually require a lot of rehearsal, the actor actually said that that was quite tough here, as floating in the air makes things unpredictable.
Yeah, I can imagine. I think he should save all his crazy stunts for Mission Impossible, because I think when he steps outside of that, and he probably knows this, people don't know that he's doing his own shit.
Yeah. And then all his co-stars are like, dang, we can't use the green screen. Are you sure? No one cares.
Yeah. No, but I think a lot of actors are into that. They're like, oh, cool, I get to do it.
Yeah, and say they did it.
Yeah, until they hurt themselves. Gerard Butler says he has like from 300, he's got like some kind of permanent weird step ever since that film. And so he doesn't do his own stunts.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That makes sense. They're dangerous.
Yeah.
Cruise has flown a plane and hung onto the side of one, but for Fallout, he also learned to fly a helicopter as part of an aerial chase sequence.
Not just him, but Henry Cavill.
The 2018 film contains an array of the actor's most
because he's a producer of Mission Impossible.
Like
he said that Henry Cavill also had to learn.
The actor rode through the streets of Paris, sometimes at 100 miles per hour.
Wow.
For the helicopter chase, Ethan Hunt flies through dangerous mountain terrain to stop a nuclear bomb. Before shooting, Cruise worked 16 hours a day to hit the required 2,000 hours of helicopter training. There would be up to 13 helicopters close to each other in the sky at once. So Cruise and the stunt team carefully planned out every little move in advance using these toy helicopters. And the actor needed all the preparation he could get, as he would be acting, piloting, and operating the cameras mounted to the front of his chopper all at the same time. All that planning was crucial, particularly for this 360-degree corkscrew dive, a move that's challenging even for professional pilots. According to Matt Evans, an instructor at the school where Cruise trained, the stunt involves starting with a descent, rolling into a turn, and then holding the turn as you go down. While that's happening, the actor can never take his hands off the controls.
Like, oh, I just gotta, get this itch over here.
Hold on, someone's texting me. Why would you ever take your hand off of that? Why would you? Oh my. That might be the most insane one.
You're like, I just gotta scratch it.
Yeah. You're just done. What? This man.
Hold on, someone's texting.
That's my mom's ringtone. Shoot!
You sounded so genuine when you said that. I thought you were actually like freaking
stopping
out.
To die. Excuse me, can you pause the video?
Exactly.
In Mission Impossible 2, Cruise's character jumps out of a helicopter. But that scene was shot using a green screen. In Fallout, Cruise decided to actually jump out of a plane and became the first actor to do a halo jump on camera. Halo stands for High Altitude, Low Opening. He jumped from a height of over 25,000 feet, but didn't open his parachute until he was below 2,000 feet. This military move allows a soldier to jump into battle undetected. The actor practiced in a giant wind tunnel constructed on the set.
Hey, that's basically what I was doing.
Oh,
it's indoor skydiving. I want to know from you guys in the comments, how many of you first learned what a halo jump was from Metal Gear Solid 3? Because that was where I first learned of it. Metal Gear Solid 3 is where I first learned of halo jumps. It's a video game. Halo jumps and CQC. So I would love to know in the comments.
And then, according to stunt coordinator Wade Eastwood, jumped out of a plane around 100 times.
It's crazy.
And a trained stunt camera operator also had to jump out of the plane with Cruise to get the shot. To make sure every facial expression was still visible on camera, the crew developed a special helmet for Cruise with a light in it,
there you go.
Allowing him to breathe properly while falling. In the long-awaited sequel to Tom Cruise's 1986 breakout film, Cruise is back in the cockpit of a fighter plane. The film was shot on real military aircraft carriers, and Cruise flew in real planes.
There's this film meet that I get emails for, and the editor of Kingsman 2 was the host, or not the host, but the guest of this particular meetup. I'm like, that sounds like fun. I'll go do that. And it turned out that he was working on Top Gun 2. And that's when I first heard about Top Gun 2, and I went ballistic. No pun intended. I lost my shit. I'm like, are you for real? And so when I watched, if you guys haven't seen it, when I watched the teaser for the first time for Top Gun 2, I had tears in my eyes.
Oh, wow.
I was so goddamn happy. So every time I talk about this, I'm like, when are we going to watch this damn thing? I cannot wait for it. So I bought the first one on 4K Blu-ray. And it's just like nostalgia, you know, it's from my...
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
New camera system allowed the crew to put 6 IMAX quality cameras inside the cockpit. In the original Top Gun, one of the F-14s had 3 cameras total mounted onto it. But it wasn't just Cruise going solo. The rest of the cast trained alongside him.
Yep.
Cruise and the
Very
rest of the
cool.
cast needed to actually fly for an even better viewing experience.
But they're not piloting.
Despite the potential risks, there are
Right?
aspects of flying one simply couldn't
How could
see
they
if
not
they
be?
used green screen.
No, because they have someone else
like
piloting.
these distortions in the face. What's your favorite Tom Cruise stunt? Let us know in the comments.
My impression is that they can't actually fly the plane, like that someone else is piloting it, because these are military-grade planes. They can't just let citizens fly them.
So they're in the...
Yeah, they're in the front.
And then someone is just flying it remotely?
No.
Oh, like someone's behind them?
The actors are in the back of the cockpit, and the pilot is in the front of the cockpit, so you can't see them. That's my impression, unless someone corrects me. But this is a common practice. I mean, in the movie Tomorrow Never Dies, if you guys haven't seen it, there's a sequence where James Bond is controlling a car with his phone.
Yeah.
And the way they did that, because you obviously can't see a driver in the car, that would give away the illusion, right? They gutted the back of the car, the back seat. They put the stunt driver in there, who's controlling the car. Looking at a camera, by the way. Not like he can't see the road.
Sketchy.
He's a stunt driver doing this from underneath the back seat of the car. But I mean, this is more safe because the pilot's just looking at the sky, right? The actor just has to do the actor's thing in the back behind him.
That'd be interesting to learn.
The training isn't for piloting the plane. The training is for dealing with, 6 G's of force or whatever the heck it's called. Because like, have you ever been on the roller coaster Goliath at Six Flags? Have you blacked out?
No.
I blacked out because like during that circle part towards the end, when I say blacked out, I just mean I couldn't see anything. The circle part at the end, there's so much gravitational force in that circle part that I just saw black coming over my eyes. I'm like, what is happening? I had no idea what was going on. And it's just the blood rushing out of your brain, basically.
Oh my.
You can't see anything. And then it came right back as soon as the ride was over. I'm like, what the hell? Did anyone else like not see shit? Like what happened? Like, well, it felt like a curtain was being pulled over my eyes. And so that's what you're training for, is how to breathe while you're up there to keep the circulation up here. I'm probably fucking all this up in my description, but it basically is to just keep the blood up here so that you don't black out.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then probably how to parachute out if there's any accidents.
Yeah.
Wow. Good for them. Couldn't be me.
Come on, where's your adventurous spirit?
I would jump out of a plane. I would. I think I
Without a
wouldn't
parachute.
do my own. Yeah. 'Cause I'll raise you one, Tom Cruise. I'll have no parachute.
Exactly.
No string attached. But no, I don't think I would. I wouldn't do any of the things that were just listed in this video.
I would. All of them, because the thing about it is there's a lot of training involved. It's not like Chinese filmmaking. Jackie Chan has talked about that. He goes, okay, so when Americans do a stunt from like one building to another or something like that, they measure the wind, they have a measuring tape, they calculate all this stuff, they have these tests they do, etc., etc. Chinese people, they go, okay, what's the distance kind of? Okay, let's do a jump on the flat ground. And they go for it. They're like, okay, that basically is the same thing. And they just go for it. They're
So
like,
this is more backed by science and math.
yes, stunt professionals who are looking out for your safety as much as within reason. They're looking out for your safety as much as they can. But the stuff with the helicopter is where I start to go, maybe not. Because as much training as you have, it's like one false move.
Yeah.
Although, think about
One
this.
itch.
I drive a really fast car, and so I'm kind of a thrill seeker in terms of speed and stuff like that. So maybe the helicopter thing would be of interest to me because like the ability to or as I said earlier, I had the dream of flying. So
yeah, you would really be flying.
Yeah.
Okay, I changed my mind. I would do most of them. I would do the scaling for sure of the building. That would be fun.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
the hours involved in getting your pilot license, what was 2,000, 6,000, he said? He was working 14 hours a day.
16 hours a day.
16 hours. Crazy.
Yeah.
No, I don't have time for that. But if you were paying me millions, maybe.
Well, that's the thing, isn't
Yeah.
it? Because like people go, wow, 16 hours a day, how can you do it? It's like, well, that's all he's doing.
That's his job.
Yeah, because the thing about it is if all, like when you look at someone who's like an incredible musician, like how did you do that? It's like, well, that's all they're doing.
Yeah.
Right. And so
Hours.
if you a long time ago when my channel was first blowing up, people were like, how are you doing that? I go, it's easy. Don't have a social life. It's like if it's all you're doing, you're gonna get somewhere. You have to.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's just all he does full time, and that's like I wouldn't mind dedicating 16 hours a day to learning how to scale a building or fly a helicopter, and all that shit looks fun to me. It's like he's living the dream life. The only part that sucks is when he gets hurt, because in I think it was Fallout, he did a jump from one building to another, and he miscalculated the jump, and he wrecked his ankle. And what's amazing is the fallout, no pun intended, of him wrecking his ankle, because it set the shoot back several weeks. And then Henry Cavill couldn't shave his mustache for the reshoots for Justice League, which cost Warner Brothers $140 million to remove his mustache.
Oh my, wow.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't $140 million just to remove his mustache. That was the entire budget for the reshoot.
For the reshoot.
But still, a huge chunk of that was the mustache. And then when I went to the Justice League premiere, Henry Cavill was there with his mustache. And I'm like, this is like bringing a new girlfriend to the ex-girlfriend's birthday party.
You're like,
you can't show that here.
Too soon.
Yeah, exactly. Too soon. We're not ready for that. But anyway, this is a lot of fun. I thoroughly enjoyed this, and it's just like it's renewed my excitement for Top Gun 2 all over again. And Mission Impossible, the next one.
Yeah, I know we've heard so much about the filming on set for both of those films. Do we have a for sure release date on Top Gun yet?
We don't have a sure release date on any yet.
Yeah. No.
Even the things with a sure release date are not sure.
Or not sure. Yeah, I know. I'm like, now I know No Time to Die is for sure because they had their premiere.
Yeah, I'm watching No Time to Die.
Ooh.
Very excited. I gotta watch. Anyway, you guys, thanks so much for hanging out, and please make sure to follow Steph SABRAW on the social media, brah. And
brah. Shred the gnar, brah.
It's so corny, but I can't help myself.
Get into it.
Follow Steph on the social media and subscribe, bell icon, all notifications. You know what this is. Vote this up. I'm Jaby Koay. This is
Steph SABRAW.
Peace out.